everybody. This is Justin with I'm Your 8 Astrology. Welcome back. Today, I felt like I haven't checked in with you guys in a minute. No charts today, no lights, no suit, no slideshow. Just a talk. I feel that today is a bit more solemn. One would say maybe Mercury opposing Pluto. Maybe we're just deep in thought today. I think we're just kind of settling down from what would be a great disruption in the world. Mars Neptune square the Sun and Venus. I feel that we're just kind of waking up to the reality of that. Neptune represents escapism, delusion. You know, over the weekend, people have been escaping in many different ways. Escaping through rage, violence, alcoholism. It's interesting. I had a lot of drunk dials over the weekend. In fact, Saturday night, I had to call the police as someone was so intoxicated they passed out on my neighbor's driveway, and then they were staggering in the middle of the street. Didn't want the individual to get hurt. It's kind of comforting, you know. I called the police, and I could hear the dialogue outside, and the officer was like, "Hey," to the drunk person, or whatever level of intoxication he was in, "Hey, are you okay? You seem a little disoriented and lost. Do you live around here?" And the person responded, "Well, I don't know how I got here." And he said, the officer said, "Okay, well, right now the most important thing is I just want to get you home safely." You know, we're on the heels of a Mercury retrograde. Just you know, kind of nonstop this year. Meanwhile, we have Venus retrograde. So we've been in shadow period the last couple weeks or so with Venus on top of that. So it's kind of a glimpse to you know, what we'll be experiencing over the next couple of weeks. And there's been just a lot of the theme has been relationships and communication, relationships. Then, you know, we have the eclipse sandwich, just giving it an extra layer. I've seen a lot in the last couple of weeks. I've seen a lot of relationships, a lot of old issues arising in relationships, to the point even of relationships ending. It's common in Venus retrograde, and depending if you have the nodal shift in your, you know, 1st and 7th house, you know, that's definitely a lunar eclipse can definitely spell out endings. Sagittarius is a change in beliefs. You know, why are we in certain relationships? Is it a part of our identity? If we lose that relationship, do we lose who we are? how much is that relationship contributing to our lives? There's also been a lot of confusion. I have, I'm someone who really prides myself on communication. I do a lot of speaking for a living. I'm an astrologer. I still dabble in marketing. And, the last couple of months, we've had a lot of connective tissue with Mercury and Mars, with Neptune. And even, I swear, I just feel like there's just been miscommunication in like almost every facet of my reality. And it's driving me a little nuts. Last night I spent some time in reflection and sent out a lot of sincere, heartfelt emails to clear up some things because it's that important to me. Venus retrograde is with Mercury reevaluating, rethinking, redesigning our life, determining what our values are, what our worth is. How often have we been giving away our power in relationships? In the past few months, I've had some endings with career relationships, more on the marketing side. But relationships that were, very abusive. Why was I hanging on to it? For what? Financial reasons or value? Am I valuing myself for hanging on to those relationships? Yes, we need worldly, monetary to sustain some sort of being and living, to pay our bills, pay our rent, pay our mortgage, etc. But sometimes at what cost, An interesting process for me is I'm getting married in August, and because of I don't want to call them social distancing laws, I guess guidelines is at least where I live now. Originally, you can't commune with more than 10 people, even though thousands of people can protest across the world. However, since we don't want to have anything rain on our parade, we've accepted that and gone through a really tough evaluation process. I think we're all doing that right now in our lives. I can only have 10, 15 people at my wedding. I know much more than that, obviously. How do you make that call? When I extended offers to family and wedding party, I said, we'd like for you to come and share this very special moment with us. Please note that this offer hasn't been extended to everyone. However, those that do receive this correspondence, you are considered our heartbeat, family, brotherhood, sisterhood. It's funny, if you would ask me like a year ago who I thought my bridal party would be, it'd be much different than it is today. It's interesting that people I thought would be lifetime companions, friendships over the course of the last few months show their true colors, right? Mercury and Mars has been a level of delusion and rose-colored glasses in the relationship, seeing what you want to see. We're seeing that in the world. From a communication perspective, no one's willing to listen to each other's side. We're screaming our points of view at one another, shouting slogans, not looking at statistics, not looking at the data, and not even looking at who's pulling the strings. And what I guess my evaluation process is where in my life do I have balance with relationships? What relationships bring a level of reciprocity to where not even like I don't expect everyone to agree with me, but who can I have a dialogue with that would love me enough to accept my opinions even though they don't agree with them, but listen. Mercury is square to the moon right now. No one's listening to each other. Where in your life do you have unbalance in relationships? Venus goes direct on the 25th. So now the dust has settled and people have shown their true colors. I talk about this all the time on these videos, is the idea of wing clippers versus wing fluffers. In short, who are the people that build you up versus tear you down? Are you in relationships for the right reason? Are you in a relationship because maybe it's toxic, but you're holding on to that relationship because it's a form of a monetary gain? Do you feel if you left the relationship that you couldn't take care of yourself on your own? Are you in a relationship right now because you feel like it's a part of your identity? Are you in a relationship because of codependence? You feel like you need that other person, even though they're not giving you the value in return? Are you in relationships because they pay your bills? I know it's a tricky thing to say in these times. People, whatever, 40 million people lost their jobs. But maybe those jobs needed to go. Maybe you're hanging on to them past your expiration and it took a freaking global pandemic in order to pry that away from you. This is all by design, whether it's you feel victimized by this or not. Saturn-Pluto conjunction, it's annihilation. I feel the eclipse periods are very, they have a lot of Uranus undertones to it. Uranus is sudden shock, change, disruption. Uranus corrects your course. If you're on the wrong path, it shakes you free. So a lunar eclipse is typically endings, culmination points, things reaching a zenith point. So it could be a lot of sudden endings in relationships, sudden endings in jobs, sudden endings in living situations. Since I've done the video with Heather, I've been working night and day trying to help people find home. People realize maybe they're hanging on to their cities, hanging on to outdated beliefs, and now they understand our value. Home, security, safety. Anything Venusian is in question right now. What do you value? Why do you value it? Is it bringing you joy? Is it stealing your energy? I've also taken a break from videos because I'm not sure what to offer everyone at this time. I started it with doing weekly updates, making my slideshows very educational. So we go through the week and we talk about aspects, we talk about transits, what they mean. My nodes, I'm having a nodal return in Gemini, in my 9th house. So teaching, writing, speaking, marketing, 9th house, philosophy, higher views, higher knowledge. I thought to myself, well, I don't know. I mean, there's so many big presences on YouTube and they're all very fantastic. I mean, if you want to go ahead and get a really good weekly update, there's plenty of resources out there. I'll say it. I think, obviously, not because I just work for her or collaborate with her, is Heather Elin. She's fantastic. Kelly Rosano is fantastic. Leo King, fantastic. If I'm missing others, I don't mean to. And those are the ones that just off the top of my head. You know, what do I want to give back to you guys? Here's what I'll give back to you in regards to this retrograde period. There's a couple different approaches. And when I give people readings, I always start with intention. I say that at this moment, I'm calling my guides, angels, ascended masters, ancestors, shamanic helpers, spirits of the highest benevolence, and merge them with the guides, angels, ascended masters, ancestors, shamanic helper spirits of ABC person. I ask that I communicate the messages from the stars to this person in a way that they could receive with ease, grace, and glory. I'm asking for the most benevolent outcome. So that's my message, the takeaway from this, is certain things have come to the surface for us to reevaluate for a reason, to transmute and transcend, to bring things to a better place. If you're not going to consciously make decisions, these eclipses will make decisions for you. You cannot run from astrology. You cannot run from eclipses, that's for sure. So whatever leaves your life, don't chase it. It's for your highest and greatest good. However, when you do speak to people, give it up to your higher awareness. Ask your higher awareness, how can I deliver this message in a way that they can receive with ease, grace, and glory? I'm asking for the most benevolent outcome. If that doesn't work for you, write it down on a piece of paper. It's like when I was in multifamily marketing, I was a director of marketing. I worked with a lot of property managers, right? And one of the things that we discussed is how to respond to negative reviews. And when you're dealing with reviews, number one, people just want to feel heard and acknowledged, first and foremost, good or bad. However, when you're a property manager, you put a lot of energy into the property you manage. You deal with a lot of residents. You deal with a lot of honorary people. You try to make everyone happy, including your staff. But the first thing I would say is we have a 48-hour response SOP, if you will. And I would tell property managers, implement the 24-hour rule. Don't respond to this email with emotion. Sleep on it. Give it some thought and respond the next day. Write down your review the moment you get it, and then rewrite it the next day and see how much different it is. You're coming from a place of defensive reaction. Are you not willing to listen what actually being said within the lines of this review? Take the emotion out of it. And it's interesting, the correspondence is always completely different in that moment in the comparison to the next day. So a couple different approaches for you guys. Mars and Neptune are still hanging around. I can't wait for it to leave. 2020 has put us to, has pushed us to the limits. Ultimately, we're fighting against ourselves. We are being pushed into a place that we could be our highest authenticity to ourselves and relationships, in our work, in our destiny nodes, the nodes shifting recently into the Gemini Sagittarius axis would be, one, what do we have to release in the South node in order to get to our North node? But there's always fear of the North node. Why? Because it's a subconscious fear. It's like being in a house that's on fire. It's your home, right? It's safety. It's what you know. It's what's familiar. But you don't know what kind of chaos is going on outside the front door. So some people either burn alive in the house, or they won't run out that front door because they don't know what's there. That's 2020 to me. The greatest risk in life is not to take one. And it's never a risk betting on yourself. Show some compassion in the next few weeks. Reevaluate relationships in all forms, your relationship with the other, relationships with business, and more importantly, the relationship with yourself. Sagittarius, what beliefs do we need to leave behind? What beliefs are we holding on to that no longer are serving us? Give it up to your higher self. And I guarantee you, if you release the need to control even your own thoughts, Spirit always finds the right words. I hope all of you are doing well out there in YouTube land. Thank you for all of you that have watched my most recent video with Heather. I've been blessed to be in contact with so many awesome people. I have seen a lot of charts recently, and I'm excited for you. And it's given me a lot of hope in the future in very bleak times. Don't get caught up in the Mercury, Pluto, obsessiveness, worry, fear, compulsion. It's not a time to run away from your thoughts. It's not a time to escape. Get quiet with yourself. You know, there's been a lot of pain going on, right? And what we're seeing in the world is just a lot of hurt people. Many of them have been going through a lot of tough times. Sit with it. It's not easy. I'm not telling you to stew in it. I'm not saying to wallow in it. Sit with it, because on a higher level, you contracted this experience that you're in right now. So sit in it. If you feel like pain, fine, sit in your pain. What is this pain asking you to do? What is it asking you to transmute? What is it asking you to change? Mercury sextile Uranus. You might get some epiphanies. The thing with the sextile, a trine is a natural ability, a natural gift that you have. A sextile requires some type of initiation, some type of action. It's like having a candle and a book of matches. Okay, so I have the tools to light this candle. The sextile is lighting the candle. Now you have light. You have an epiphany. There's messages coming in today before the retrograde period, before things get all muddled up. Think about the communication you've had the last couple of weeks. Are we talking at people or are we talking with people? There's so much today is, you don't agree with me, F you. You don't agree with me, unfriend. You don't agree with me, you're a racist. Try seeing the other side's perspective just a little bit. Mercury square the moon. We need to listen. You know, Venus is going to be trying with Saturn, so this will allow us some discipline. Might take some hard work in relationships, but if we apply some hard work to it, good results will come. Give it up before you say anything the next couple of weeks. And don't be reactive. When you come from a place of reaction, you're coming from a place of survival. Do you want to be coming from a place of survival or a place of thriving? Best of luck to all of you these next couple of weeks. Whatever leaves your life, don't chase it. Whatever suddenly appears in your life, it's just, even though you might not like it, the solar eclipse coming, I don't mind the solar eclipse. I think it's it'll bring something good. Even though it's not what we want, the spirit world often doesn't give you what you want. It's going to give you what you need. So don't be victimized by these eclipses. Don't be victimized by Mercury retrograde. Don't be victimized by Venus retrograde. Don't be victimized by the world. The world wants to bring you down. Art of war. If you want to control people, you want to control a society, 1, you keep them in fear. 2, you keep them divided. We're losing this battle for now because we're allowing it. Be the change you want to see in the world. What we're seeing out there in the world is an inner reflection of the turmoil we have inside of us. Whether it's a movement or the president, what are we dealing with the president? It's narcissism. We're a narcissistic society. Where is the narcissism within yourself? What is everything happening in the world? It's humbling. It's trying to remove the ego. And all we're doing, whatever side you're on, this side, that side, this movement, that movement, it's all driven on ego. I'm right, this is my beliefs. I don't care what kind of punishment I'll inflict on the other person, this is how it is. And both sides are doing it. I wouldn't say both sides, all sides are doing it. This is a time to unite, not divide. I'm sending you blessings, love, and light over the next couple of weeks. See yourself how you want to be. See yourself how you want to feel. See the world how you want it to be. From a shamanic view, we have everything we need. We just need to pull it into form. This is Justin with I'm Your Aid Astrology. I'm not your coach. I'm not your guru. I am not your guide. I am your aid, angel in disguise. I help you, empower you. Until we talk again, may you all walk in beauty. Aho.